Hey guys, and welcome back to the Thoughtful Advocate. I'm your host, Elizabeth Teo, and today we're just going to go over some life updates next week, and we're expecting our next little baby. So here we go. This episode will include everything from a big milestone for me and Ace, and a fun recipe that I think your toddler is gonna like, and how we've been getting out of the house for free. So Ace's hair has been getting so long, like a little embarrassingly long. It's like his bangs are getting to his eyes and his hair is starting to become like a little Dorish. So I was like, okay, we really need to get a haircut for him. And I've been scared of his hair, honestly. Last time I really cut hair was, I cut my dad's hair one time in like middle school. And it was okay, I think. But I think that's because he had the actual, I don't know what it's called, the barber tool where you can shave off hair. I was using like kitchen scissors. Yeah. I was using kitchen scissors for Ace. Different results. And also, it keeps moving, so it was pretty difficult. The last time I cut bangs was my own bangs. I had wispy bangs. So when they're like styled, they look really nice. And it's actually pretty good. Like, I cut them pretty well. I used my hair cutting scissors, which I clearly misplaced. I was frantically looking for them right before I cut Ace's hair, but I have no idea where it went. Every time I try to look for something for Ace, it's like missing, and then I'll find it the next day, but I still have not found the scissors. So yeah, basically what I did is I tried to cut his bangs first because that was the most important thing, and I was a bit more confident in it. Then after I cut it, not so much. I really wanted to cut it at an angle and not make it so straight because it's like very blunt. Anytime he saw the scissors right in front of his face, he would like use his hands to cover, and he would jerk his head around. And so as soon as I cut, like I grabbed his hair and I twisted it into a triangle. I don't know if you've seen those YouTube videos, and it just went sideways as soon as he moved. It cut way more than I envisioned, and his bangs just up to here, they're like micro bangs. Honestly, he's very cute though. He did look like Dora because at the back of his head, his hair is so long there. So when I cut it, he's very cute. And yeah, I took a picture of that too. And then I finally got the courage to cut the back of his head because I was most scared about the back because I've never really cut the back. Like, I don't have a lot of experience cutting the back. But yeah, it was honestly a lot easier than I thought. I watched a tutorial like midway on YouTube. And so like, you split the back into three ways, like top part to the right and the top left to, like, you comb it to the left, and then the back. You just leave it and brush it. And then you pick up the pieces and you start cutting from inwards to outwards. So we did that. And because he couldn't see the scissors and he was eating, like, he didn't really move too much. So it was a lot easier to cut for me. I was really nervous about the ears. His ears are still a bit long, like the hair around it. So I don't know. We'll cut it from under it. Well, the back took a long time because he has so much hair. And yeah, I was just nerve-wracking cutting it. And because his hair is like a lot thinner, the comb didn't really grab the hairs as well. So it was a bit difficult in it. But luckily, we had our nanny there. She helped hold the spray bottle and help me like hold the garbage bag so I can put all the hairs in because he kept going everywhere. We did not have a cover for Ace, but we took a voucher right after. But yeah, honestly, aftermath was not too bad. He looks like one of those K-pop idols who go to the army and they get those fresh cuts and like really short and you don't really recognize them anymore. So yeah, he looks like a boy. That he's very cute. And I'm just happy that the hair is not in the eyes anymore and it's shorter and more manageable. Usually when he wakes up from his sleep, because his hair is so thin, it gets wavy because he sweats a little and then it just gets everywhere. It gets frizzy. So I have to make sure I comb it down. It's a lot more manageable now that it's not so long, which is good. But yeah, sorry, your mom cut your hair for the first time and it's a little janky. I think it's good. Like the last result is pretty good. Okay, so this is the big update. I'm 38 weeks pregnant, and next Thursday is literally my C-section. And I am nervous for it, obviously. Like, it's a big surgery. They cut through 7 layers of skin, and that's a lot. Take a long time to heal, too. Like, it's recently pretty much healed up, as in, like, there's, like, old scarring, and it's, like, you can feel it's pretty sturdy. So I am scared to go back to the vulnerability of having an open wound, having two under two. But luckily John will be off. So yeah, basically at this point in your pregnancy, you're definitely seeing your OBGYN, or at least for OBGYNs, I'm seeing them weekly now. They basically measure the baby by measuring your stomach here, and they see how much they're growing. They take your weight, and then they hear the heartbeat. and see if there's any irregularities. Everything was good, which is amazing. And because that's honestly all we can ask for is for a healthy baby at this point. And yeah, I think it keeps you like grounded every time I go to checkups. I'm like, okay, yeah, baby's coming and baby's healthy. And it gives you like a lot of reassurance, which is great. But it definitely is a lot harder this time with a toddler and going to these appointments because like she doesn't like sitting still and you have to get ready. It takes an hour to get ready. So it's a lot more work trying to get to places now with a kid. I know with two, yeah, it's going to be a lot more. The week of the surgery, there's multiple appointments. So you see your OB/GYN for one last checkup. And then the day before your surgery is when the hospital calls you. You're basically on call. They're going to call you to come in anytime during the day and you just have to go. Apparently they do blood work. You bring your package, which your OB/GYN gives you. And it's all your insurance information, your personal information, whether you consent to the surgery or not, and all of that. And you bring all that stuff in and you talk to the nurse or the surgeon. And basically their job is to walk you through the surgery and they let you know when to stop eating, stop drinking, which is going to be very hard for me because being so pregnant, like I constantly need to eat and drink. So I'm a little worried about that, but you know, we'll survive. And we did not go through any of this with Ace, even though he was C-section, because he was emergency C-section. There was like no time to plan all this. It just all happened at once. So we did not do any blood work. I think I got booster juice this morning because I was getting like a massage and my contractions were coming in. I just didn't realize that they were kind of false, like the Braxton Hicks contractions, but then they kept getting closer and then we went to the hospital. So yeah, this time around it's quite different. And also last year, interesting, they changed it this time. They give you an antibacterial soap so you can wash the area before you go in. So the night before and then the morning of, you're supposed to wash. They said it's supposed to prevent infections, prevent incision, and I'm all for that. But it's really interesting because I literally gave birth last year and they did not give me that. So they said, yeah, this time we're trying to prevent infections, so use wash with soap. Now, trying to look for the soap. I know it's in my bag, but we have a really stuffed closet in the back and I need to pull everything out. And then they said the day of, we show up 2 hours early and he has to prep himself. And then instead of an epidural, I'm getting a spinal block, which if you didn't see my last video, I talk about the difference between them. But yeah, it will be interesting. I just really don't want to feel the needle, but I don't want to feel any pain. So I'd rather not feel any pain. But yeah, there's definitely something more comforting about being prepared and like having all these appointments scheduled versus we didn't find out that we were going to have emergency C-section until I think it had to be like 36 weeks. No, it could be a bit earlier. It's probably around the 34-week mark where they finally did an ultrasound and they saw that the baby's head was not down. The feet were down. So I thought I was going to have a vaginal birth. My friend Kelly, she literally bought me like the cooling pads and like all the stuff that I need for vaginal birth. I didn't end up using it and yeah, I was not prepared for it at all. And then when we went to the emergency labor and delivery department, it just all happened at once. But I was waiting 2 hours at the hospital after we arrived, still having contractions until I was excited and they finally had everything ready. So even though we do want an earlier birth date, like today is the 27th, so the last day of February is literally going to be tomorrow. Like, I don't care. I just don't want to be in pain. I'd rather, and the reason why we didn't want March was because half of John's family's birthday's in March, and like literally the first week, it's like his mom and like a bunch of other people and his siblings, and you know, it doesn't matter. I just want the baby to go, and I don't want to go through any pain, so I'd rather not have contraction. Because again, they set the surgery, if you're having a C-section, usually the week before the 40-week mark, so that's the 39 week. If you ever had a C-section, I'd like to know how you dealt with it, the aftermath, if you did anything with the pain, because the first time around, it took me a long time for the pain to really reside completely, because I would really feel that at night, like months after. So I heard doing my research and people have saying about blood therapy, doing certain exercises. So I'm going to talk to my physiotherapist and my OB/GYN, of course, and see if that's what I need to be doing so that I'm not in so much pain physically for like months after. Because yeah, that's the worst part. Okay, so for this section, I'm going to basically go over a recipe that I think your toddler is going to love. Because one, it's soft and it's chewy and it's a great breakfast recipe. And if you're finding that they're not like wanting to eat anything, like my toddlers love gravitates towards this. And basically, it's healthy, also mostly healthy. They're Greek yogurt crepes. And basically, what you need is unsalted butter. So I just cut enough every time for me to basically cook the crepes in. But you're gonna need at least 3 tablespoons here. And I'll post a recipe from Sally's Baking. But yeah, 3 tablespoons of butter in the actual mixture, and then you're gonna need more butter. And this is unsalted butter. And then yeah, 1 cup of all-purpose flour, 1 tablespoon of granulated sugar, just like a pinch of salt. So it's 3/4 cup of whole milk, 1/2 cup of water, 2 large eggs, and 1 1/2 teaspoons of pure vanilla extract. Okay, I'm gonna give the actual metrics that I used in grams because I have a scale, so I'm using grams. So apparently that's more accurate than the measuring cups. So it's this actual recipe I used. 150 grams unbleached all-purpose flour, 25 grams sugar, 1 pinch of salt, 2 large eggs, 300 milliliters of milk. Any milk will do. 125 grams of plain Greek yogurt, which is about a cup, I think. Or sorry, not a cup, half a cup. Try to use as much as I could without ruining the recipe. And in smoothies, of course. 2.5 milliliters vanilla extract, 14 grams unsalted butter, and then just softened butter for cooking, which I just keep the stick out and I cut little pieces and then I keep going. And I keep putting it in the pan. Yeah. The consistency, it should come off the stove easily. It's all runny. It should be pretty thin. It's slightly heavier than heavy cream. Maybe the same consistency. I remember ours was pretty runny, but you can do a test. Basically, you want to heat your pan. They say to use nonstick. I used a stainless steel pan. Just have to make sure it's heated up well. And you put enough butter, and you want to basically pour in the center so it's circular, but not all the way out. So you just want to make sure it's maybe halfway of the diameter, and then you want to swirl it around. You want to hold the pan and swirl it around so that it forms a thin layer around the surface, and then it becomes a thin crepe. They say to cook it maybe 1 to 2 minutes. I just do it until I just start peeling off itself, and then I flip it, and then it should be a little brown. If you want it really soft, then you can make sure the heat's down low and do it slowly. But yeah, it should make 14 crepes or more. I think I had more than that. I think that's a great recipe because sometimes when Ace doesn't want to eat his actual dinner or a meal, I'll just give that because at least he's going to eat something better than nothing. As most parents know around this age, they start getting picky, and yeah, it's a good snack too. And you can rip it into little pieces. He can hold it himself, and it's really soft, and it's nice. I've had it myself, and I can make jams for it, put fruits, chop up bananas, put peanut butter in it, and it's very versatile. Last but not least, I have a free hack for museums. So you're going to go to your local library, and you're going to ask, do you guys have museum passes? Or you're going to look it up online. Because oftentimes they post if they have free museum passes that they partner with. And yeah, our library does. Because museum passes can add up, especially if you go frequently. We went to the Peel Region Art Museum, and it was pretty cool. It was free. On Valentine's Day, there was nobody there except for this one other couple. And so we had the whole museum to ourselves. It was definitely smaller than the ROM, of course, and other big museums. But hey, it was free and it was pretty cool. You get 1 pass for a whole family. So I think that's 2 adults and to 3 children, I believe. It depends on your library and the card itself. Basically, they give you this pass. You can check it out for 7 days, and then you have to return it. Otherwise, you get fined, of course. So yeah, I think the entry fee was $6 per person. It adds up, but I'd rather go for free, of course. And yeah, it was really cool. They had the old Peel chill cell, and they had it's called. Okay, sorry. It's called Pama Peel Art Gallery, Museum, and Archives. They had the history of Peel County's jail back then, and so they have the actual jail cells. John went into the jail cell itself. I'll insert a photo. And yeah, the jail cell's really small. There's no windows, and it's literally metal bars and a bunch of brick. Yeah, there's the other stuff too, the railways of Peel, which is pretty cool to see. And they had those little train sets that kids could play with, which he's loved. At one point, he was trying to throw the train, so we had to get him to stop. Just a poster project at the history of there is almost every group, Chinese, Black, Indigenous people, basically telling their stories how they're oppressed, and they showed a piece of art, and it was really cool to see. They had Inuit art as well, which was always awesome to see. And they had this play section, which basically like a kitchen. And they had like fake strawberries and fake cake and fake oven. And yeah, it was really cool. A great place for kids. And we had it all to ourselves, which is awesome. So yeah, check out your local library because they could have awesome like passes, even have zoo passes. And basically, there's hundreds of holds on the really popular places like the Toronto Zoo, and other places. So you want to put a hold on it as soon as you can. I had to go in person. I didn't know how to do it online. Yeah, I said put a hold for all of them. I think they even have Ontario Parks passes. And yeah, it's great because it's a free resource for families. And when you have kids, you want to try to get outdoors as much as possible because you want to be in the house all day. And honestly, it's a lot better for everyone's mental health. And I find that he sleeps better when we like go out for like fresh air, and yeah, it's just overall really fun. Okay, so that's all. I'm trying to film all these videos in batch. And so that way that I can be rested and for when the baby comes. That way I can be well rested for when the new baby comes. Thanks for listening. If you like this video, please subscribe and give it a thumbs up. I'll see you next time. Bye. Okay, so today's sponsor is Kind Laundry. Just kidding, they're not really a sponsor, but I do have an affiliate code. Kind Laundry use natural ingredients, and it actually comes in these sheets. So much more useful than liquid laundry detergent because that stuff gets messy. With Kind Laundry, you can bring this anywhere.